Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Transplant Talk with your girl, Nashonda Larimore. It is a thankful Thursday, and I am again thankful to be here. And it is always good to be seen than to be viewed. And my guest today is all the way from the Sunshine State capital, that is in those high hills of Tallahassee, Florida. Y'all know I am a FAMU Marching 100 proud alumni through and through. My sisters, my nieces, eventually my brother, everybody, attends FAMU. So we are super, super happy. It's a long history of Rollins in Tallahassee, Florida. So hello to my family in Tallahassee, Florida. And you already know what I want you all to do. I want you all to let me know where you're from. Where are you? Where's everybody from? Just let me know very quickly. All right. Just let me know where you're from and just go ahead and drop it in our comment section. Okay. And then also, if you are still considering becoming an organ donor, please make sure that you go to Donate Life Florida. Okay. Go to Donate Life Florida, complete the application, and make sure that you identify us as other and save 1,000 lives. So, I promise I will not hold you long. Let me see who's already in our comments. Hello, Miss Walker. How are you, lady? Tuning in. Yes. And since she's on my YouTube channel, okay, I have 208 subscribers. Let's try to get 300. Okay, let's try to get 1,000. I appreciate it. So if everyone could, please go and find us on YouTube. All right, Transplant Talk with Nashonda on YouTube, and like us and subscribe us and hit that notification bell, okay? And I promise again, I won't be before you long. And tonight's family is the Jakes family. And when I tell you it is a beautiful, beautiful picture of this beautiful family, and I cannot stress this enough. Nashonda is the face of someone that said no. They did not become an organ donor in order to save my late husband's life. It's been 3 years. And this beautiful picture of Kevin, Amanda, and Allison is from someone that said yes. I can't stress enough how many people in this country are waiting for the gift of life. When you have over 100,000 people that's waiting, we have to do something. Okay. And once again, if people don't know, your blood type matters, your height, your weight, all of those are taken into consideration. You are not able to just go and grab someone, especially with different blood types, and say that you're going to take their organs, because there's a lot more that has to be involved. Hello, mother. My mama is watching all the way from Mare Island. So, hi, my beautiful mother. And so, I'm going to bring our guest on. He is a liver recipient, and I want you all to hear his story. And you already know his wife is a shero. I've already told her that she is a shero. She's just as beautiful, and he has a beautiful daughter. So, I'm going to bring on the Jakes family. And let me say this is an equal opportunity program. Red, yellow, black, or white, I don't care. Okay? This affects everybody. It affects everybody. So I'm so glad they said yes. And remember, I had Mark Sandy on, who was British, and I had him on the show as well. So I want to break barriers, and I want to just bring awareness to the importance of organ donation. Hold on, got to say hello to my daddy. Hi, Dad. Love you. Thank y'all for watching, Mom and Dad. All right. So right now we're going to bring the Jakes family on. Hello, Jakes family. How are you?
Great, thank you.
Thank you all so much for being on this show today. And for my family that's looking, I know that says my nephew's name, Jacquez, but for them, it's pronounced Jakes. Okay. And so we want to just make sure that we distinguish that. Okay. So, Kevin, Allison, Amanda, thank you all so much for being a part of Transplant Talk with Nashonda. So, welcome to our TTWN family.
Thank you. We're really happy to be here.
Yes.
I'm so glad you are here. Definitely gives me something to do. So, so Kevin, you are a liver recipient. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
All right, so I have a 10-year-old daughter named Allison.
Hmm.
And she actually is the whole reason why I even found out that I even needed a liver transplant in the first place.
Okay.
Um, and then we'll get to that in a little bit. Amanda is my wife. That we just got married in November of 20,
Ready?
and we are expecting our first child in October of 21.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. That is, I look forward to the pictures of the baby. I'll make sure I follow you.
All
So we
right,
Yes,
can see
yeah.
definitely.
that for that beautiful baby. Boy or girl, doesn't matter. We just want a beautiful, healthy baby.
Yes.
Okay, so Kevin, what was life like before having to go through the ordeal of needing a liver transplant?
All right, so before even knowing I needed a liver transplant, I just was a typical, you know, young adult that got up. I went to work every day. Had my hobbies. I like to do pretty much anything outdoors. I was in Boy Scouts. I'm an Eagle Scout, so I love being outside.
Mhm.
I like working on I tinker with stuff.
Okay.
So uh, So Allison's mother and I were expecting Allison, and uh, she was born in August of 2010, and my dad uh, unexpectedly passed away in February of 2010,
Okay.
and a few months go by. My birthday's in May, so I turned 21 in May,
Wait,
and
when's your birthday?
the 12th.
May 12th. Okay, well,
Yeah,
happy belated birthday.
thank
My
you.
birthday Saturday, so May babies.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, maybe. So um, I go to my doctor and he says, "Oh, we need to go do some labs and just basically do a physical." I told him, I said, "My dad passed away unexpectedly. I'm expecting a little one, so just kind of check some stuff out." Well, they called me that day and were like, "Something's wrong." Of course, I turned 21, so they assumed that I had just started drinking a whole bunch.
Oh,
So they gave me all these rules: don't drink anything like that. So I go back and do labs, and they said, "Well, your labs are still really high. We need you to go see a specialist." So up until I was 21, I thought I was just a healthy 21-year-old.
right.
Um, so I started seeing specialists, and I was seeing a specialist here in Tallahassee for close to a year before he decided we need to go ahead and send you over to Shands. And that year honestly was hell. I was on huge amounts of prednisone
Mm-hmm.
because they were treating me for autoimmune hepatitis, and which is just your body's just essentially trying to kill your liver for whatever reason. It's autoimmune disease.
Okay.
So I finally get transferred over to Shands, and Shands kind of looks at me and says, "Well, we want to go ahead and send all your stuff off to another hospital because it looks like autoimmune hepatitis, but there's some things in it that aren't adding up." So they send all my labs up to another teaching hospital in one of the Carolinas. I can't remember, and they came back with PSC, which stands for primary sclerosing cholangitis, which is a stricture of the bile ducts in the liver.
Okay.
So essentially, my liver was not draining the bile. So then they said, "Well, you are going to need a transplant at some point, and with you being as young as you are, we're going to go ahead and get you on the list now."
Okay.
So I was on the list for 5 years before I was actually transplanted. And in that time, I started having side effects of my liver starting to fail. So I had the itchy skin, the yellow eyes, the yellow skin. Uh, being tired all the time. As far as my bodily functions going, they were abnormal, and we'll stop that there.
Okay.
But I did actually have a liver resection done where they took and cut half my liver out in 2015. So almost 3 years to the day of my transplant. Actually, we were like 7 days off. They did a liver resection because they found a nickel-sized mass growing that wasn't there about a week prior for them installing some bile drain tubes. So I had a external drain bag that drained directly out of my liver to this drain bag to where it would give me some relief of the symptoms of liver failure. Wow. So, yeah, then they went ahead and cut me open, took half my liver out, and so they still telling me, oh, well, you'll have quite a few years before you need transplant. So then we fast forward about 2 years from that, and I meet Amanda, and I told Amanda, I was like, I'm sick. I need a liver transplant. Doctor's telling me late 30s, early 40s before I need anything. She's like, all right, cool. So 9 months?
8 months.
Okay, so 8 months after I meet Amanda, I get a call at work. I work in the recycling industry, and they called me and said, hey, we need you to go over to the hospital and redo some labs. Your blood clotting factors aren't right. There's got to be a mistake. So I go over to the hospital here, and they do my labs, and they come back in and they say, all right, well, we're shipping you to Shands. I said, all right. I figure we're going to go over to Shands, get my labs right, be on the way home. Well, when I get over to Shands, they said, you're hanging out till you get transplanted or you die. So I said, well, I'll hang out then, I guess.
Oh, well, I want to stop right there, Kevin, because I would love to hear from your beautiful Amanda.
Okay.
Amanda, I know you probably were not expecting, 8, 9 months. Now, let me tell you, I can relate because I met him in March, and by November, we're like, hey, we need a heart transplant. So what? Like,
so you get it.
I get it. I totally get it. So tell me what's going through your mind with all of this.
It's a lot. So like you said, we met in the summer of 2017. It was great. It really was one of those things like, we met, we instantly hit it off. We got along great. And I really, really liked this man. So we spent a lot of time together. And like he said, he told me, I have a autoimmune disease. It affects my liver. My doctor said I will need a transplant when I'm 40. And I'm thinking, we have about 10 years. Like that, we have 10 years to get to know each other.
Okay.
But I knew really quickly I liked him. So we started spending a lot of time together. And like that was in too, which really helped. So we spent a lot of time together, and progressively he's starting to act more tired. He's starting to turn yellow. I bring him places, and I'm a teacher. I teach 2nd grade, and he came to a school function, and one of my students said, why is your friend yellow? He looks like a Lego.
Oh.
So it, within those 7, 8 months, it really progressed quickly where he got sick, but I was invested. I knew I loved him. I knew I needed to be there for him. And so I just was, it was one of those things where you just know.
Amanda, do you know I'm a high school teacher?
No, I didn't know that. There's a reason we got along so well instantly.
Exactly. We have a bond. We love the kids, and it sounds almost as similar as mine, because we were the same, situation except different organ. Howsoever, the storyline, sounds, the same. And I know as teachers, we're like, oh, we got to fix this. Where you think?
Yes, we are fixers, and there comes to a point where you realize you can't fix this. This is out of your hands. And that March when he got his transplant, it was actually the week of my spring break, and he called me and he said, I'm on the way TMH to have my labs redone. Meet me there. So I meet him there, and then we get the call that we're moving over to Shan. So I instantly went home and I
Pack the
packed
bag.
my bags. And just part of me knew that I needed more than one night.
Right.
So I packed my bag and met him over at Shan's. And it was a very surreal moment when they walked in because they were very blunt and they said, "You will stay here until you get a liver or until you die." And and I appreciate that honesty. And yeah, so I just, stayed with him, and I was just there in the ICU with him, and I was just blown away with how quickly everything progressed. But I knew what I had to do, and it was just be there.
Right. And you weren't married. You weren't,
Right.
you weren't married yet. And
We
so,
were.
Kevin, you sent me some pictures. Can I show some of the pictures
Absolutely.
that you sent me? So this is let me show this one because this is you. Was this before or after the transplant?
That was post transplant. That's probably within hours of me getting out, probably less than 12 hours of me being out of transplant.
Right.
Oh wow. Wow.
So
Wow.
yeah, I still have my
Your tubes.
yeah, I don't know what it's all called, but the thing in my neck, that was they called it a hibiscus, didn't they?
They did call it a hibiscus. It looked like the pollen stems of a hibiscus plant. It had multiple IVs, and
Oh wow.
yes, it was very intense.
Wow. And this is what I love because we weren't married either, and just being there, was this one of the he's yellow?
This was actually the day after. Actually, I would say this was about 2 or 3 days after his transplant, where he is still a little bit yellow, but it's starting to fade. Right when he first woke up after transplant, I looked in his eyes and I said, "I see more white in your eyes than I've seen in months." His eyes instantly started clearing up, which was amazing. They told me that would happen, but it was truly, truly amazing to see.
Wow. And listen, I'm a teacher. Being a teacher, I tried to take pictures of everything. I wanted to record everything. I wanted to take pictures of it. And for me, it was, just being able to go back. And then this is one of the ones that caught my eye too, with little Allison. And so when was this?
That was the morning of his transplant. So that was right, that was several hours before transplant. And it's a little bit hard to see in the picture, but he was incredibly yellow. And they were joking that he was the same color as their socks.
Okay, I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. I definitely do. So Allison, again, thank you for joining us, Allison. Thank you so much. You're such a big, beautiful girl. Do you remember what was going on with your dad at that time?
I mean, I remember my mom that she was like, hey, dad's in the hospital, so we're gonna go see him. So it was like midnight when we got there.
Oh wow. Okay. Okay. And do you, let me make sure because I'm speaking to a very mature 10-year-old. What were your thoughts when you saw your dad?
I was sad and kind of scared of him.
Okay. Okay. And that would make sense because you didn't know what was going on. Did you understand when they said that he needed a liver? Did you understand that?
Mm-hmm.
So her mother and I kept her in the loop pretty much her entire life. Because I found out about it just months before she was born. So we told her this, I'm sick. This is going to have to happen at some point. So we kind of were prepping her the whole time. Just weren't expecting her to be 7,
Right.
when it happened.
Yeah. So, this is it's very sensitive, and I'm so glad that you all included her, in that journey. But are you also concerned that this might be in the family history?
So autoimmune diseases apparently are hereditary. It just depends on what your body picks up. So we have had Allison checked for liver function. Bless you. She does liver function test I think it's every 3 years now. And so far, all her function tests have been fine. And they've done kidney functions and everything. So far, it seems like she's doing all right. But so I have 3 siblings. I have 2 older sisters and a younger brother, and none of them seem to have any form of autoimmune disease. It's just kind of I got the lucky draw on that one, I guess.
Yeah, it's if it's supposed to happen, it'll happen to you.
Yep. That's what I feel like. I feel like I was able to handle it probably the best out of all of them. So
okay. So the day of the transplant, when you went, tell me about that day when you found out you got the call about the transplant. What happened?
Well, I remember. So they came in, and then they told me that they got transplant, or they have the liver, and the doctors were going to go check it out, make sure everything is good. And they brought me some paperwork, and they're standing there talking to me about the paperwork, saying, "Oh, well, if you sign here," I'm like, "All right, well, just give me the paperwork because I already know what I want." Just go ahead and get it over, because I've been like I said, I've 5 years on the transplant list. I already knew what had to happen.
Right.
So I'd already come to terms with it. So I was able to sign the paperwork, and then I did ask the interns if they could take pictures of my new and old. So I have pictures of my new and my old liver, which those are my prized possessions. Those get whipped out to all kinds of different people, and some people aren't ready for them.
You didn't send it to me.
No, I didn't.
They're pretty graphic. Pretty graphic, but it is really amazing to see the difference between a healthy, functioning liver and what was in his body. I'm not a medical professional, and I can tell you there was a big difference in everything. You can see the texture, the coloring, yes, the shape, the size. It did not look like a liver that you and I have seen in our anatomy textbooks. It was very, very damaged. It was very sick, and you can tell that.
Wow. And Allison is agreeing. What do you remember, Allison?
I remember the picture on his phone, and his old liver was like Lee, and then his new liver was like.
Okay.
And I mean, to spare like graphic idea, his old liver looked like a steak that you put in the fridge to thaw, and you left it there too long, and it started turning colors. Okay. And his new liver really did look shiny and new, and it looked healthy.
Wow. And Tony did say, 5 years is a long time to wait. Is at the time, how much time were they giving you before, for you to actually get a transplant?
They didn't really. So like I said, my doctor was like, I would say more hoping I would make it till my 40s before transplant, but they kept me on the radar because it was my body attacking my liver. It wasn't me destroying my liver through drug or alcohol abuse. Right. So they wanted to make sure that I was on essentially the longer you're on the list, the better it looks for you to be able to move up to the sweet spot of transplant.
Right. And my dad said, thanks for sharing your story. And you definitely don't look like what you've been through. You're looking good.
Well, thank you.
So yes, we can see there's no more yellow. Nope. And you have successfully had a transplant. There's no rejection.
I haven't had any rejection scares. A lot of people do have to be hospitalized for rejection. They kind of redo your medication and get you back under control and send you back out. But Luckily, I haven't had any rejection scares.
Yes. Can I show your scars?
Yeah.
Let me show you scars. All right. And so this is after transplant. Oh, I never did like those darn staples.
Yeah,
I
there
was not
was,
a fan of staples.
there was
And you call
30.
this the Mercedes.
Yep, that's the Mercedes.
Okay.
And they had 42 staples in there.
Ooh. Did
So
they dissolve or did they have
no,
to?
they had to pluck them out.
Oh, that hurt. That
Actually, it was a relief because they taken your skin's pulled so tight for them to staple that
mhm.
when the staples come out, your skin relaxes back, and it actually was a relief to have them pulled out.
I bet it was. And Allison is like, yeah, Allison. It was yeah. I due to the fact that I had them before, I totally understand. Yes, Tony, the Mercedes. Yes, the Mercedes. And so you've had your transplant. What is your cocktail? What is your regimen for your medicines? Is it still the same or
No,
is it less?
it changes depending on. There's all kinds of different factors. I can't even begin to explain why it changes. I just know that it does. But I take roughly 13 pills in the morning, about 15 at night, and a lot of them are for like side effects. Like I have a lot of nerve pain,
Okay.
so I have to take nerve pain medication and all that stuff.
Okay.
But my medicine's pretty easy. I only have to take it morning and night. I'm not on this crazy pill regimen where I have to do it at morning, noon, night, wake up. I don't have to do any of that.
So before transplant, were you on a special diet? Were there like I know with some heart patients and some dialysis patients, they're on a fluid diet. Like you can't. There's only so much that you can drink. Were you limited in any way?
No, I just I couldn't keep weight. I struggled to even keep 140. So my doctors basically just said, "Yeah, just eat whatever, just go."
Okay.
And then obviously no alcohol.
Okay.
Which really wasn't that big of a deal for me because I didn't drink before I was 21, and then when I did turn 21, I was only able to drink for like 2 months, and then that was it. So.
Okay. So after transplant, Tony wanted to know: was there anything special that you craved?
Carbohydrates.
Well, right after transplant, yeah, I wanted to eat all the carbs,
all the bread and all the pasta, and that is still true.
That's true. So you are you not allowed to have carbs?
No, I can. Pretty much I can eat whatever I want minus grapefruit because it interacts with one of the medications. And is there anything else?
Yeah, so certain cheeses with the some of the more fancy cheeses and raw fish is one of those things. And then as far as food, the main thing that we have to do is make sure it's prepared appropriately. Just because of his immune system being compromised, our kitchen has to be clean. The food all has to be cooked to the right temperature.
You can't touch birds.
And yeah, so he's just limited as far as how his food is prepared.
Okay.
For the most part.
You can't touch reptiles or birds.
Right. Also, like Allison was saying, because of his immune system being compromised, there's certain animals he's not allowed to interact with. But all of those things are just precautions to make sure that he doesn't get sick.
Right. So Allison, are you like the patrol? Are you on watch what Daddy does?
Yes.
Yeah. So he has your eyes and Amanda's eyes watching, because I know, if we were she's so cute. I know that when we went out, I would, if it was water, I was like, what is it? What's in that cup? And how much is, bring me a plastic cup or styrofoam cup, because I wanted to make sure that, there were no problems. So my late husband would call me like the Nazi, like
Mhm.
what are you doing? Because I just wanted to make sure that he was okay. So it is so lovely to me. First of all, you're maybe the third or fourth teacher. So and I have my own Pretty Teachers Rock, and that is what we do, and it doesn't stand for a pretty face. So again, what an honor to meet you, and I learned that I earned my own PhD within this, within this process of learning the different medications and what to do and what not to do. So again, Amanda and Allison, you are real troopers to stand by Kevin's side and continue to push him. Now, of course, I have to show your beautiful pictures of your wedding, guys. It's just beautiful, like
Well, thank you.
so beautiful. To see them finally able to get married after all of the trouble that they went through, and so God gave you this beautiful lady to know that she was going to stick around before you even got
Right.
married. She wasn't going anywhere, and again, it is such a honor and a pleasure. But Amanda, you being a teacher, are you teaching online or are
I'm
you in
not.
the building?
I am in the building. I have 19 real students that I love dearly. I would take them all home with me.
Okay.
I do. I love them. But
Okay.
yes, and I know one of the concerns even my coworkers have are what about the germs?
Right.
What about the germs of introducing?
Especially COVID.
Right. So, with COVID, I think it's actually been, for me as a teacher, it has been kind of relieving because I get to use that as my crutch for let's be clean. We're cleaning. We are
Okay.
washing our hands more. We are keeping our distance. We're being more proactive
Okay.
about not spreading germs, about not spreading viruses. So for me, because, as a teacher, I already have that little layer of almost being a germaphobe. So
Right.
I have the Clorox wipe even in our home. Like every corner of the home has Clorox wipes. And Kevin has actually taught me, or he's told me over and over, I received a liver transplant so that I can live, not so that I can be held back, not for anyone to worry, but so that I can continue to live. And that has caused me to, take a deep breath and think about things before I limit him and what he does and how crazy I get with cleaning and keeping things tidy and germ free.
I mean, but rightfully so.
Yeah.
Rightfully so. And
Absolutely.
Kevin Andrew Hobbs says, hello, what's up, a fellow
Yeah,
liver
what's up?
warrior. Yeah, he had his he had a liver, and the story behind that is utterly amazing as well. But just making sure that everyone is healthy, because I would do the same thing. I'm sorry, where are you? Put on
Right.
your gloves, or just make sure you wash your hands. So I would be the overprotective wife as well. So it's just more of her to love, Kevin. That's all. Just more
Yeah. And
more of her.
he is very 100% on the go all the time. He loves
Okay.
working.
Okay.
He can't wait to get up and go to work. And there are some days, even recently, within a few weeks ago, where I said, your body is telling you you need to take a break.
Okay.
And sometimes, I have to be the one to say, I can tell you're tired. You
Okay.
need to stay home today. Your
Okay.
work will go on without you.
Okay.
But so I do have to be a little bossy sometimes, even though I know he loves working. But it's not too often these days anymore that I have to do that.
Okay. So my dad also wanted to know how long were you out of work and when were you able to return?
You guys maybe wait 2 months, right?
They said, well, his doctors told him that that he could possibly be out of work for 6 months to a year.
Oh wow.
He was only out of work for 6 weeks. Right?
Oh wow.
Yeah. I was pestering my doctors and everything. I said, well, let me go back to work.
Oh.
So he was back to work within 6 weeks. And fortunately, they were able to give him, light duty. So he wasn't doing too much. And his company was really, they they were great at accommodating him. And if he needed a break, they let him take breaks, which was good because I was worried about him overdoing it.
Right.
But they were really accommodating of him and his needs. And I was very grateful for that.
Wow. What a blessing. That is
Mhm.
definitely a blessing. And so now, Kevin, are you able to go back in nature and do some of the things that you like to do?
So I love camping, but I really like doing like backpacking where you just carry everything with you and go
Yeah, no,
just
that's
I
not me. Okay, no. I'm a glamping. I'll go glamping. We not go.
yeah, all right. But my doctors do recommend that I make sure I have clean facilities and stuff. So this kind of hindered my camping a
Of
little
course.
bit. So, but no, we go ride 4-wheelers, go take the boat out. I have a dirt bike we go ride around. My daughter rides around on her little 3-wheeler with me. I mean, just basically camping is about the only thing that is kind of hindered me with. So, but everything else is just kind of just keep doing it.
Okay, I mean, if that's just one out of the other 1,000 things that you can do,
Right.
okay, we just adapt.
We make our sacrifices.
Right, because you're here, so
Yeah.
Absolutely.
we can go glamping, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
Go glamping because I need showers. I don't like that other stuff. We need showers. But once again, I promise I would not hold you long. And yes, Tony, caregivers are angels. Yes, we are.
Definitely.
And they're teachers. So we could just add that to the other hat that teachers wear because we are caregivers and long live Team Jakes, my father is saying. So I definitely appreciate you all taking this small time to share with my TTWN family and, letting everyone see that what a beautiful family you all have because someone said yes. And I can never stress that enough, how important it is, how families get a second chance to, one day he'll be walking his beautiful daughter down the aisle, and then he has another beautiful life coming into the world, all because someone else said yes. So thank you all, Jake's family, for being a part of my show. And I know you said you wrote letters, but if you could say anything to someone, Kevin, that is on the fence about becoming an organ donor, what would you say to them?
Like, look at what I get to. I get to make sure she grows up and has an awesome father. Amanda's. I don't know. Just look what I still have. Look what you still have.
Right. So people should not be on the fence about becoming organ donors.
I don't think they should, but
right.
It's just I think the biggest problem people have is just the fact that there's so many bad rumors and everything.
The myths.
The myths, yeah, the just terrible myths going around, and it's like these are some of them are just like so out there. It's like, how can you even believe this?
I know, absolutely. And is there anything that you would like to say to that donor family? I know you wrote letters, but is there anything you would like to verbally say to that donor family?
There's so much I would like to say to them. Like they just don't even know what they have in store when they finally meet us. they have they will have extended a huge family. So
we're very grateful, very grateful, and we talk about it often. We collectively are all very, very aware of what their side of the fence is experiencing compared to our side. We understand that our side of the fence, we are showing that we have a future together, that we are making more memories, where on their side, we understand that something for them ended, that a chapter closed. And we're very aware of that. And we want to be able to reach out and hug their necks. We want them to be a part of the memories that we are making because without them, we would not be making these memories. Our family would not be growing. And we're just so grateful. And like Kevin said, there are so many things that we want to say. So we definitely hope that we get to hear from them. We realize that the reality is we may never get to, but we do hope that they know that they're loved, their family member is loved, and that we are grateful.
Right. And their legacy will live on forever within you.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Most definitely.
How wonderful. That's the beautiful part. What a hero they allowed to become your donor. And again, such a beautiful, beautiful family. I'm just so grateful again for you all to be here and to share with us on this thankful Thursday. And I will bid you all good night. But I'll just put you backstage and I'm going to say goodbye to the audience and I'll come right back to you.
All right.
All right.
So
Thank you.
Thank you
Bye,
all.
everyone. Thank you.
Allison, you are so awesome and a super daughter sweetheart.
She's the best.
Yeah, and a future awesome big sister, because I know you're going to show that baby the ropes, right? All right. God bless you. I'll just hang on right there.
Thank you.
All right. Again, everyone, thank you all for watching. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I've already put your comments in there. And listen, I can't wait for you all to tune in next week with our next guest. I'll be at the where am I going to be? I have several things to do this weekend, including my birthday on Saturday. So guys, send me all the love that you all can. And that's do my Cash App. I appreciate that too. Say 1,000 Lives Cash App. If you want to send me something for my birthday, I'll definitely appreciate it. Can't believe I will be turning 48 this year. Right? I look good. I still look good, right? After all I've been through, I'm still here. And I'm thankful that God has blessed me and saved me. And there's work for me to do. And I'm going to be right back here next week. So God bless you all. Until next week, God bless you all. Good night.